Well, good afternoon, folks. Today I'm going to do a quick review of the 30 by 30 building that I had Eagle Carports from Mount Airy, North Carolina put up. And so this is a 30 by 30 building. It's got the horizontal sides, it's got the vertical roof, and it's got the boxed eave. So I'll be reviewing this product today. I had a scheduled install date on a Tuesday, and the weather was a little iffy, but it turned out that it didn't rain or anything. But the crew showed up about 2 hours. Well, they didn't show up 2 hours late. They showed up 6 hours late. But after 2 hours of waiting for them to show up, I finally called the company. They checked on them. They said they'd be there within a few minutes. That was 2 hours. They didn't show up. It was another 4 hours, and they finally showed up. So I contacted the crew leader. He approached me, and I talked to him a little bit about where I wanted the building, and I had already set up some flags to basically where I wanted the building. Well, the first thing he does is he anchors the building on the side that's not aligned with the house. And I said, well, I want this building aligned with the house where I've got that mark there. And so he then grumbled a little bit and finally pulled up his stakes, which were on this side of the building, and started to then go with this direction here, which is the way I wanted it facing. And so they did get started that night, and they put up a few things, and I don't know, the fitment on the building, there's just a few things that I'm not real terribly pleased with. In a good number of cases, they blew out the screws. In other words, they tightened the screws too tight, and they blew out. You can see the definite over tightening on this sidewall as evidence of that. And then I'm not too excited about their trim either, in that they could have used one, considering they brought a 30-foot sheet of metal, they certainly could have not put four seams in that piece as well. So when they were putting the building together, the bottom sheet was going on after the other sheets, and obviously when you install a building, you tuck it under. Well, the J channel wasn't lining up very well, and when this cap is off the end, you can see how the moisture wicking of the design of the tin metal was not going to work quite right. And I'm still not really pleased with the way in which they finally got that fitted, but they did actually take some time to adjust it after I pointed out how much of a gap there was between their pieces. So I ended up going with the building where I put two roll-up doors on the end and a single in the middle. And so you can already see this building's been up 1 week, and I've got a gap up there on the roof eave, and there's a gap that's already developed right here as well on this trim piece. Again, one long trim piece probably would have alleviated those problems, but as you can see, that's already developing. So I don't know, the guy might have had a little trouble framing my door, because I have an extra set of screws holes in my door, and I don't know why that screw's there. I don't know why that screw hole's there, but I don't think he actually framed the door quite right, because I don't think they used the right amount of screws either. And I got those extra holes in the door. So cosmetically, why is that extra screw hole in that door? I don't know. So anyway, I was looking at the building today, and I did notice that, and when the guy put the doors on, I pointed out that there might have been a problem with the way he installed them. And after rolling this door up 4 times, I already have a noticeable roll right here in the middle of this door. Well, I went to investigate why that might be, and I came to the inside, and I noticed that when you pull this door down, the vertical tube in the middle has a bump in it. So I don't know where that bump, again, this building's been up for only 10 days. And I don't know where that bump came from. It might be because the screw's there, But I think it's more based upon the fact that when they installed the door, the guy did not put the end beam, this beam right here. And, oh, by the way, they are well, careful in keeping the building clean. But I think they did put that beam in the right place. And so these screws are on the edge of that channel instead of being centered in it. And I think they're actually squeezing this door together. Because when you come over here and you look at the same issue, you've got the screws right here and that hanging off the edge. And when you investigate further, you'll see that there's a definite tweak to those pieces. Now this door over here hasn't started to show symptoms, but the tweak angle is actually worse on this door than that one, but it hasn't damaged itself. And so you can see how that piece there should have been more aligned with this. This center structure here should have been better aligned. And the fact that they used these little angle braces that they didn't tighten all the way on all of the different places might be a factor as well. And the fact that they cut these on site and left a gap in almost every single place. And so that's, generally what I've got with this building. I bought this particular building because of the fact that they had, well, I'm just going to show you this other corner as well. And this one here isn't quite as crooked, but again, it's not screwed in the correct place. So I bought this building because the image of this building was better than some of the others. I like their rafter design in that they had it there and it extended further out. So in other words, this rafter beam has a support there and it extends further out. So I bought this building. But look at the welds. There's hardly a weld on that one there. They didn't paint over any of the welds that they did on the side. And so even though their truss is longer and it supports further out to the edge of the building, I don't think that's going to be a long time thing. So when I talked to them about anchoring systems, they said that we'd have an anchor on every pillar. Well, I got one there. I don't have one there. I don't have one there, and I do finally have one there. And there's no anchors on either of the end walls. So this building is now held down by 6 anchors, each on the 2 sides of the building and none on either of the ends. So I'm not sure if that's how they design it, if that's the way it works. But I will also point out that when they anchor this, that leaves an air gap because they leave the bolt on the outside of the bottom rail, the nut, and they do nothing in order to affix to account for those 3 anchors. And so you've got this big visual light gap and bulge at the bottom of the building on each of the 2 sides. And so again, that was probably something that I didn't think was the best idea. But anyway, as you can hear the chirping, if the building is so open, I've already got a bird that's moved in. And I don't know if they're going to address any of these issues for me. I'm going to send a copy of this video to them, giving them an opportunity to respond back. But again, that door has already developed a wrinkle in it because I think that they put the door too close together and didn't, or the end beam, I think, were put in the wrong place, and then they just shoved them up there to somehow get them attached, which led to that indentation. So overall, I can't really give you a final verdict on whether or not this building is a good deal or not, because I haven't gotten a response back yet from the company as to whether they're going to address any of these fitment and construction issues. The fact that these were over tightened, the door having a roll in it. But anyway, so this is wrapping up on a review of an Eagle Products Mount Airy, North Carolina construction project. that they completed just about 10 days ago. So thanks so much for joining in, and everybody have a great day. Comments and feedback are always appreciated.